So first of all, thank you very much for the first presenter who already gave you an overview of judging. Now, just imagine a ship without a captain or a bus without a driver. Contest without the chief judge is like that. So the chief judge is the captain of the show of each and every contest. So the glamour comes with responsibilities. You as a chief judge needs to be really organized and systematic in whatever thing, even if it is a small thing, you have to be really systematic. All the dignitaries, attendees, chief judge enthusiastic people, the organizers, first of all, thank you very much for giving this opportunity. And judge, chief judge, you have to remember there are three roles basically under your domain, which is pre-contest, during the contest, and after the contest. Already, Toastmaster Wafa has discussed the chief judge qualifications and who is eligible and who is not eligible to be a chief judge. So I'm directly moving on to the duties of the chief judge. Let's go to the first aspect. As a chief judge, the first person who you are to be in contact with is a contest chair. So let's see, what does the chief judge have to do with the contest chair? Moderator, let's go to the slide, discuss with contest chair. All right. As a chief judge, you have to remember, you are the chief person of that day. So what you have to do, moderator, sorry, we have to go to discuss with the contest chair slide, please. Move on to the next slides. Next, please. All right, again, one more slide to go. Yeah, next slide. Thank you. So once the chief judge has to arrive at the venue at least half an hour before the contest. And then chief judge has to meet the contest chair, ensure proper contest have been made. So you have to have a good rapport with the contest chair. You can have a phone call before the contest as well. And when you arrive at the venue, go with the contest chair and remind the contest chair to identify the speaking area and show it to the contestants and judges before the contest. Now, again, the chief judge has to collect the speaker's signed eligibility and originality forms. You can watch the screen. This is a sample of the speaker's eligibility and originality form. This form should be duly signed and collected by the chief judge. Now, the next aspect is the chief judge has to call all the judges to a separate room for briefing. Every contest organizer usually arrange a room for the chief judge and the judges to meet, to have their discussions before and after or during the contest in case of a protest. Now, gather all the judges in a separate room for briefing. Make sure that all are reading the eligibility and code before signing. It is much better if you can read it loud and let the judges understand what exactly is there. Collect the signed copy of judges' certification of eligibility and code of ethics from all the judges. Please make sure that's very important thing. You need to collect all the eligibility forms before the contest. Now, another important thing, remind judges to remain anonymous and maintain their confidentiality. At no point of time, judges should say that I am the judge. Again, remind the judges, do not consider timing when voting. Not to consider timing is very important because the judges do not have to do that. The chief judge and the tally counter will consider the timing disqualification while announcing the winners. Now, again, remind the judges to break their own ties and write only first, second, and third names. They have to write the winner's full name in order. First, second, third. These things are, it might appear to you that these things are small, but it makes a big difference. It's a professionalism that we are showing by writing the complete name of the winner. And the judges, again, have to sign and write the name at the bottom of the form. There is a place and the judge has to sign. So the ballot forms, the judgment form come with a marking column and also the result announcement sheet, result announcement part. The judges have to tear off only the ballot part of the judging form and hand over to the ballot counter. So you don't have to look for the ballot counters. Ballot counters will come to you to collect your forms. Again, moving on to the tie breaking. Can we go to the next slide, please? Let's see the contest timer briefing. So timer has to be, the timing is one of the most important criteria, and the timer should be informed. They have to read the criteria, and it's a chief judge's responsibility. Because even seconds matter. So maybe sometimes for seconds, eligible contestant may be disqualified. So the timer has got a prominent role in any contest. So it's the chief judge's responsibility to sit with the timers and make sure they know the criteria of when to press the green, amber, and red buttons and write down, record it with. Moving on to the slide. Again, discuss minutes of silence for marking the ballot. Demonstrate how to fill out forms if required. It is the chief judge's responsibility to demonstrate how to fill out forms. Again, CJ has to give the instruction on when to start timing for the contestant's speech. Mark any contestant who are under or overtime on the time record. Time record sheet is the major document that we'll be referring. The chief judge and the judges will be referring later on. So recording sheet is very important. We need minimum 2 timers required for all contests. Provide the timers record sheet and review the timing rules for each contest. Again, most important role for the chief judge is the timing signal voice is appropriate and operating properly. Functioning of the stopwatch in case the stopwatch is not working, the color cards as a backup also should be available. Again, CJ has to double check it. Can we go to the next slide, please? This is already dealt with, Yani. The chief judge has to demonstrate how to fill the forms if required, instruction on how to start, when to start the contestant speech, mark any contestant who are under or overtime on the time record sheet, which is our major document. Moving on to the next. On completion of the contest, timers should sign the time record and hand over to the chief judge only. As I mentioned before, it's the chief judge's duty, not the judges. They don't have anything to do with the time disqualification. So the timers have to hand over the record sheet to the chief judge only. Remind timers to maintain confidentiality. Timers, even after the contest, should not go and disclose to anybody any of the contestant or any other organizer, this is what happened. There was a this time disqualification. All such comments should be strictly avoided. Target speaker received the standard timing consideration of 5, 6, 7 minutes. You know that 5 minutes is the green and 6 is the amber, 7 is the red, with 30 seconds grace time. Target speaker also should be informed, briefed by the CJ. In addition to the contest chair, who the evaluation contest chair will be speaking to the target speaker, CJ also should communicate with the target speaker. Now, let's say, can we move to the next slide, please? This is a sample of the ballot counters briefing, but this has already been dealt with Toastmaster Wafa, so I will prefer to move on to the next slides, please. Can we move to the next slides? Again, ballot counter is already dealt with, so we can move on to our next tie breaking. Let's focus on tie breaking. Now, this is again a very sensitive issue. So the chief judge has to deal with it very carefully. Look at your screen. This is a tie breaking judge's official ballot sample. Insert it for your reference. Most important thing that you have to notice here is tie breaking judge has to mention all the contestants ranking there. So here you can see the difference between a normal judge and a tie-breaking judge. Normal judge will get a marking column plus the ballot, 1, 2, 3 only, whereas a tie-breaking judge will be given a ballot like this, where the tie-breaking judge has to write all the contestants ranking. If it is 10, 10. If it is 15, 15. Moving on. The chief judge is the one who selects the tie-breaking judge. Again, the identity of the tie-breaking judge is secret and known only to the chief judge. Why? Again, as I mentioned to you, it's a very sensitive thing. So tie-breaking judge, who is the tie-breaking judge, will be known only to the CJ. The tie-breaking judge ballot will be collected by the CJ, not by the ballot counters. The others, the results will be collected by the ballot papers will be collected by the ballot counters, whereas tie-breaking judge ballot will be collected by the CJ. Again, tie-breaking judge should never disclose to anybody that he or she was the tie-breaking judge. You have to maintain confidentiality. Moving on, chief judge will refer to the tie-breaking judge's ballot only in the event of a tie. When the judges' mark sheets are in, the tally counters do the tally, and if there is a tie, at this point of time, the chief judge will refer to the tie-breaking judge. If there is no tie in the result, no point of referring to the tie-breaking judge's ballot. And the tied contestant who received the highest ranking on the tie-breaking judge's ballot will gain the contested place. In the next slide, we will show you a sample. Can we go to the next slide? Yes, here we go. Scenario 1 and scenario 2. In scenario, counters tally ranking is Tom and Jerry, they are tied. And scenario 2, Julie and Muskan, they are tied. So this is the reason we are telling the tiebreaker judge to have a ranking of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now when there is a tie with Tom and Jerry, now we'll go to the tiebreaker judge's ranking. Since Jerry has been given the ranking as 1, obviously Tom will be, in the ranking, Tom will get number 1. Let's go to the next slide. Now, disqualification of a contestant. Again, this is a very sensitive issue. Disqualification. As a chief judge, you always have to remain patient and calm, and you have to, because you will be dealing with some anger. If maybe people who will come to you, they're very angry. They might raise the voice, they might protest, they might, annoy you, irritate you. But as a chief judge, you have to remain calm until this disqualification is announced. So let's see what are the types of disqualification that we already do. This speech time qualification. A contestant went overshot the time, we have to disqualify. Result of a protest due to eligibility or originality. Some contestant has copied from some other winner's speeches or some other copyrighted thing. That results in the protest due to eligibility or originality. Again, it is in the speech rule book, and it's every contest meeting, the chief judge and the judges repeatedly remind the contestants that reference to another contestant or contestant's speech from the same contest is not allowed. So if any contestant refers to another contestant or another contestant's speech from the same contest, he or she will be disqualified. Again, absent in the contest hall during the time of announcement of speaking order by contestant. Again, all the contestants in the pre-briefing meeting, the organizers would have advised you have to be present when your name is called during the calling order time by the contest chair. So if the contestant is absent during a contest, this will be considered as a disqualification. Let's move to the next slide. Now, how, in case of a protest for originality, as a chief judge, you have to be ready with your answer, and you need to be ready with your criteria, and you need to be very firm in what you say. You need to be very clear about the thing. Why are you disqualifying a contestant? Only contestant or voting judge can raise a protest. And also there is a time before the contest gets over. Call all the voting judges to breakout room. Contestant shall be given opportunity to respond to the judges. So contestants will be given a chance also to explain. A majority of the voting judges must reach consensus in the decision to disqualify on the basis of originality or for referencing another contestant or contestant's speech. Since the speech rule book will be shared with all the clubs from the District 20 headquarters office by PQD office, we don't have to worry about any of, if at all a chance comes, or opportunity comes for you to disqualify or contestant, we don't have to be worried, because it's a protocol that before the contest, the rule book will be shared with all the contestants, and there are briefing meetings too. So we have to be firm with our decision, and judges' decision shall be final. Let's go to the next slide, please. So now, I hope you got a good idea about before the contest, during the contest, what a CJ. Now let's see, after the contest, what the chief judge has to do. Record the names of the winners in the reverse order. This is a sample on the screen. You can see that what are the things that as a CJ you have to complete and keep as a review and hand over to the organizers. Can we move to the next slide? Duties of the chief judge after contest. Yes, thank you. Record the names of the winners in reverse order on the results form and hand over to the contest chair. As you know, it's a contest chair who will be announcing the results to the audience. So the chief judge CJ has to hand over the result sheet to the contest chair. Be present during result announcement ceremony. It's not enough that the CJ was there during the contest, but the CJ has to remain there until the result announcement ceremony and make sure everything has gone as planned. Yeah. Then after the winners have been announced, the CJ will destroy all the timing records and the tally sheets. This is not something to keep. It have to make sure The CJ has to make sure all the ballots, timing records, and the tally sheets are destroyed. With the first, second, third with proper names written to be sent to the contest chair at next level of the contest. So if it is a club contest, you have to make sure the result sheet has gone to the area level contest chair, and again, if it is an area, to the division, and the division to the district. This is again the responsibility of the CJ after the contest. And again, it is the CJ's duty to thank all the judges for their service. Okay, because without the judges, a CJ is helpless. So it's very important, very, very important to thank the judges for their time, effort, focusing onto the contest and showing their efficiency, being present in the venue on time. For everything, we have to thank the judges for their service. Now, do you think you are eligible to play the role of CJ? Do you think you are ready? Can I see some thumbs up here? Thank you. Now, let me take this opportunity to thank the organizers and the language translators, Tosmas Rasma, to DTM Ram, Dr. Punshankar. I have missed one person here. One more language translator. Thank you very much for properly relaying the content to the Toastmasters in their own comfortable language. Because as a CJ, as a chief judge, as I mentioned in the beginning, you are the captain of the show. It's like playing an orchestra and making sure all instruments are syncing together, well coordinated. So CJ has the most significant role to fulfill. Wishing you all in advance, be the best CJs of the Kingdom of Bahrain. Be firm and fair. And thank you. And over to you, Master Lisa.